and then we're gonna give our reactions to what he's saying. Okay. After every shotgun.
Fortnite has released 27 different shotguns since its release, but what is the worst shotgun in Fortnite history?
What do you think the worst Fortnite shotgun is?
Well, I'm gonna rank.
There's a lot of bad shotguns out there, but if I had to really choose one, either the charge or the dub shotgun.
Personally, I would say probably the charge. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the charge.
Rank every single one of them to find out which ones suck and which ones would create the perfect meta.
What do you think the best shotgun is?
Best shotgun, like of all time?
Yeah,
Or this
all
season?
time.
All time. Well, pump's up there in the range, but there's also the Thunder Pump.
Alright, the OG.
I think that was a shotgun, right? The Thunder Pump in the game.
Pump, let's be real. If you think about the game, you're gonna think about the pump shotgun and probably like the Scar or the regular assault rifle. I'm not gonna tease this. This is an S tier gun. Think about when you load into a random creative map. If you go into like a 1v1, a red versus blue map, whatever it is.
Do you agree? Do you think that like
the random?
Do you do you think that the pump is like a goated shotgun S tier?
Honestly, yeah, it has to be S tier because it's one of the best shotguns in the game, almost. Not one of the best, but one of the most usable in W shotguns. It's honestly like one of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm. But we are 30 seconds into the video and we've been talking nonstop. It's fine. I'll edit it down later.
Newbie skins, whoever they may be, jumping in, they always carry a gold pump. Despite all the other shotgun variations there, it stood the test of time, and if it was to be put back into the current meta, back in OG they actually removed the damage cap from this, so a gold could do a 203 headshot damage, so the one pump's still in. I mean, the real question is there going to be any other shotguns that can beat this at the top of the tier? Second, its counterpart, the tactical shotgun. Now, I'm not going to lie to you,
I hate this shotgun. I hate it.
What shotgun is it?
The TAC. D tier max. I hate this gun. What do you think?
That shotgun is usually one of my main shotguns. See, I'm gonna have to put that at B tier.
I'm putting that at D. I do not like this shotgun.
Not a fan of the tactical shotgun. I think in the lower rarity,
because I always hit this gun. I always hit my shots for like 18, 20, something like that. For like super low. It used to be my main when I first started. Like chapter 2 season 1, I mained that thing because I was so bad at the game. And I was like, oh, I picked up the pump. I was like, oh my goodness, this is goated.
Balance. It is possible to two-shot someone if you shoot them in the head or in the kind of upper chest area, and it feels like a very well-balanced gun. Now, the big issue I have with the tactical shotgun in terms of balance is the purple and gold variants. Now, they're just kind of like stupid weapons, I'll be totally honest with you. The purple deals 75 structure
it's like
damage,
basically
whereas the
you're
gold
just pickaxing
does
a wall.
79. So what players ended up doing with this was just looking at a wall. If there's a player on the other side of it, they just pre-fire, damage the wall. That means if the player edits, they'll get hit. If they don't edit, then they
remember when people would do that all the time, and it made me so mad. And I was like 10 at the time, so you can imagine how pissed I was.
The wall the same amount as a pickaxe would. So you can just stand there, shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload. And for that, I don't believe the tactical shotgun is actually very well balanced at all. So I'm going to put it down into C tier. Without...
Oh, I didn't mean D tier. I didn't realize it was that low. I forgot about C. I'm going to put that in C tier. That's what I meant.
The gold in the purple variants, I'd probably put this into A tier because I think it's a really, really good shotgun outside of that. Next up is the heavy shotgun. Now, I hate the heavy shotgun with a deep...
I hate the OG version of it. I do like the single pellet one because I'm pretty good with it and I have like decent aim. I think it's a hard hitting gun. What are your thoughts on that?
The exotic version, it's not good because the reticle is so small, and that's kind of hard to aim with.
So you don't like it at all? What do you think of the OG version? Think the new
OG
the OG.
That one's actually good to hit with because that you can bigger reticle, so a little bit larger area to put your marker on them, and then boom, hit them for a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, but I feel like it it hits for like no damage basically. Like if I'm in someone's face, it's gonna hit like 50 or something. Very rarely will I hit a good shot with it in reload. So I don't like it. Okay, I do like the new version of it. I think the new version is very good.
Higher. I feel like this was a gun that when it was first introduced, the idea of it is this is a slightly more longer range shotgun. We have a lot of variations of those coming. This was kind of the first iteration of a shotgun that was longer range, meant to deal higher damage at that range.
It's so smooth.
However, I just feel like it seemed always incredibly inconsistent. At the time when it was released, it could do over 200 damage to the headshot.
Oh my.
God dang.
Oh my goodness. I know you could like double pump with it. Oh my goodness, what was Epic thinking?
Yeah, it just never seemed to. And it seemed to be the most consistent shotgun at hitting
headshot.
like 20s, 30s.
Okay,
maybe.
yeah, so he agrees with me. Like, as you can see here, like, he hits 37.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not a hard-hitting shotgun, but decent for range.
Occasional 40 and 50 if you were really lucky there. And I've always had this deep burning hatred for it ever since. For me, I think this is an A-tier gun because it ends up being very well balanced. I like the gunplay that you end up having with it, but that inconsistency
like this gun.
takes it out of S tier.
I don't know
for me.
why he's
The other
putting it in
variation,
A
of
tier.
course, is the single pair. Is it
A tier. The OG version, C tier also. The single pellet one, A tier. A tier.
can't even speak.
What are your thoughts?
Okay.
A tier or S tier?
Oh.
Or like any of them?
Overall, all the shotguns are not very good. They're kind good for when you need something and for a shotgun. But overall, I'm putting every single any kind of heavy shotgun in C tier.
C tier?
Pellet variation that ended up being added in. And for me, this is kind of an interesting weapon to be put into the game because holding down ADS means it's 100% accurate with a single bullet, that is, which can deal massive damage, so it's very high skilled. But if you hit fire, it's kind of just RNG where that single bullet is going to land within the crosshair. I don't.
Okay, so it is RNG, but it will mostly shoot towards the middle. I mean, that's probably pretty obvious, but it does shoot mostly in the middle.
Particularly like RNG weapons like that at all. If it was 100% accurate, that might be really, really cool. But to be honest,
it's not like a sniper where it's completely random. It just shoots it mostly in the middle.
It's just too RNG. It's too luck based. And if not, you just have to sit in ADS, which is just very clunky and just kind of
Why was
slow.
that dude emoting?
So for me, the single shot, I'm putting that down in D.
That one goes to D. That one goes to A.
Here.
Oh,
And
there's
shout
a
out to the
single and
heisted
then there's
breacher
a
shotgun,
multiple one.
Yeah.
which was the
here's the
exotic
exotic
version
one.
of this, which dealt 185 structure damage in that single shot, which was insanely broken. I have vivid memories and not
I remember playing ranked and someone would roll up with that gun. And I would just get actually destroyed because I had no clue this was in the game. And I found out like a month later, oh, this gun is in the game and it actually shreds.
memories, let's be real, they were actually just
Honestly,
nightmares of people using this against me, replacing my
I would switch and then put the multiple shot one at B tier and then this one at A tier.
every single time. We're currently in the Nitro season where everyone can just run through and break every build. So I actually think maybe the heisted breacher shotgun would be perfect for this meta. It's already bad
I think it would be a good meta.
enough. Just chuck this in as well. I need to.
Oh, yeah.
They should buff. They would, if they brought it back. I think they would buff it, so it would do like more damage to the cars.
Bro,
Yeah.
the small reticle would be perfect for cars.
Yeah.
Tweet that. Hold on. All right, next up we have the double barrel shotgun. Now I'm gonna be.
I hate this gun. F tier.
Controversial.
What are your thoughts?
D tier.
D tier.
It's
Yeah.
good.
See, this is-
D tier. It's D tier gun, yeah.
Yeah, D tier. D
Is
tier.
completely
D
awful.
and F,
Now, if
one
you're
of
in
those.
someone's face in their box, it has the capabilities for you to be able to two-shot them almost instantly. The max body shot damage of this is 114 with the epic variation and 120 with the gold, and you can just hit 2 max body shots and just be able to wipe someone out instantly. But then you have to sit and reload the gun. It also has 0 range to it, so you can't like open a fight with a big shotgun tag and then kind of try to get into their box and play how
this is how a lot of people would do it. They would have the pump and whatever the dub. Because like it was crazy because you could double pump with these and it was so much fun. They recently removed it from the game, so you can no longer double pump with these. I found that out in creative. I was like, oh, I was devastated.
The majority of fights end up actually playing out. You just have to kind of hope that you get into their box and then hit both of the shots. If you don't hit both the shots, then you're kind of left in the mud as well. Double barrel shotgun straight down into the F tier. Again, shout out to the exotic version back in Chapter 2 Season, I want to say 7? Chapter 2 Season 5. My memory's awful. There we go. This was incredibly busted, as every time you shot this, it just gave you kind of propulsion that fired you backwards. I vividly remember Cammy using this a lot in the solo catch clubs until it got removed. But again, we're not including exotics on this list because they'd clearly just be super broken and amazingly good. Next, we have the combat shotgun.
The original version of this gun was so broken. You could run into someone's box, 136, dead. If they had a gold pump, they could do nothing. You could now out-contest. Like, you could not out-contest an AR with this shotgun. The shotgun was always winning.
Now,
and then they like, nerfed it, and it sucked. And then they rebuffed it, it still sucked. But now we're to where it's at right now, and it's not bad. I think it's pretty balanced. What are your thoughts?
Okay. If I had to say C tier overall for a new one, but for the old one, I'm gonna have to put it up there with A tier.
I would agree with you.
Honestly, used to hate the shotgun with a burning passion. How many times have I said that in this video already? I mean, twice, but that is far too many already. Back in Chapter 1 Season X, when this was released, this was one of the most broken weapons Fortnite has ever added. The meta was combat shotgun, pump, and tactical shotgun, if I remember correctly. Who cares? The tactical isn't even relevant to this conversation. If you had a pump and you were going against a player who was good and had the combat shotgun, they could just deal so much damage to you at range before you really even had a chance. You couldn't use your pump to damage them because you'd probably deal like a 20 or 30, whereas they're dealing...
That's what I was talking about, saying how the pump would not be able to out-contest this unless you get a hard-hitting shot in.
80 damage to you at that range. If you had an assault rifle or an SMG, you were not out-damaging someone with a combat shotgun. However, it was since nerfed and then buffed a little bit again, where in the current season, Chapter 5, Season 3, it actually feels really good, and I feel like it is actually a good balance. It's weak if you're up in box because it's so difficult to hit shots, but at that medium to long range...
So I think, like, I would only ever take the combat in zero build, because it sucks in, like, a build battle, like, box fight, is only good at range. Okay, it is not consistent enough for me to get into like a box fight with someone.
Range does a really good job of dealing considerable damage to the point where you get punished for making poor rotations.
I'm so glad you can't do this anymore.
With the combat shotgun. For that, in my eyes, a weapon that I used to hate, where I would used to put down in F, I'm actually going to put the current combat shotgun up in S tier.
Current one is max B tier. Max B tier.
As I said before, A tier for old one, C tier for the battle for the new one.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree with that.
Behind the pump, of course. Edit and here. I meant to say B. I have no idea why I said S.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, I was literally shocked.
This is the drum shotgun.
No,
we got a bit of...
He didn't even give it a chance. Oh my goodness.
Of an all-timer here, the charge shotgun. First introduced...
I don't like this gun at all. It takes too long. It's never consistent. I mean, like the mythic one can 200, but other than that, I would just never pick it up.
In Chapter 2 Season 3, this thing was really, really interesting. If you weren't playing whenever it has been in the season, essentially all you need to do is hold down the charge, and it will essentially gain damage the longer you hold it until a max. Now this is...
That's like a blue or green. 195 max is crazy with a blue.
The time was actually the first season that removed the pump So I feel like the charged shotgun got a lot of hatred when it first came out because the meta wasn't very good. It's kind of clunky to use because you don't have that initial like tap fire that you can with a pump shotgun. You can't deal it immediately. There is a bit of delay. However, it deals massive damage at good range and is an incredibly skillful weapon to use, in particular when it comes to team modes. Now, I've always loved metas which have had both the charged shotgun and the pump. I think they've been some of the best. So for me, I'm going to put the charged shotgun up.
C tier.
C tier? Really?
C tier. Yep.
I can agree with that. I can agree with
Yeah, I
that.
do not like that gun.
Into the S tier. Next up, we have the Dragon's Breath. Now, a lot of people really like this shotgun. It's essentially
I don't know a soul that likes this gun.
a much better version of the double barrel shotgun
It can
that I
200.
put straight down into F tier before. It does massive body shot damage in Epic, doing 158, and in Gold doing 165 in a single shot, which is incredibly busted. Plus, if you're not playing in competitive modes, it drops fire all around you,
90% of the time that would kill me.
which, again, this is not in tournament.
It's
because
also one I would
fire
have to
is
do
not
shoot
enabled in
before
tournaments
it
because
feels
it
bloody.
creates horrific
Yeah, I know,
lag.
right?
So you didn't necessarily have that effect when playing tournaments. However, huge damage coming out of this shotgun. But of course, it does have the drawback of only having a single bullet in the chamber, whatever the word is for that.
I missed
so you
a
have to
harpoon
reload
gun.
it after every single
That guy
one.
just
And
shot
it
it,
obviously has
reminded
the
me of it.
downsides of you double barrel at the same time. To me, a lot of people love this.
This guy is
item
good
and
with
would
it.
probably put it in A, B tier. I think this is going to be a B tier.
D tier.
D tier?
Yeah.
F tier.
Shotgun for me personally, because I'm not a huge fan of things that are just kind of gimmicky like this. But, you know, there are a lot of teams who were using it when it was in the meta for one single season in Chapter 2, Season 5. Lever action shotgun. Oh my goodness. This
I don't hate this gun. It's definitely not my favorite. It does shoot very fast. It's good for some, like, I don't know, like, getting first shot off and then getting second shot off real quick. It's faster than a lot of guns. I think it's pretty good. What are your thoughts on this gun?
I pick it up a lot of the time just because it's gonna. If it's blue, it's easier to use than most guns. And
If
it's
I
the
have like
only
a
shotgun I
green
have-
pump, I'm not dropping the lever over it, right?
No, if you have like a pump or if you have a pump basically, then like a green
Yeah, don't
pump
drop it.
over a blue lever, you're not dropping.
Yeah. Because it hits like Nerf bullets.
thing is some trash, okay?
It's not
Just
that bad.
awful. This is truly one of the worst shotguns Fortnite has ever put into the game. Double barrel, okay, horrific. That's an immediate F tier.
Yeah,
The
34.
lever action shotgun, this is the tickle monster right here. This is doing nothing at all. I don't even know if it's possible to hit a max damage shot with this. I think the only person off the top of my head who likes this is Nicky30. Love my boy Nicky30. Congratulations on his icon skin. But this gun is some trash. This thing is awful. The huge reticule means it's really difficult to hit a max damage shot, even if you're like right up in their face. Now, it does have one or two things going for it here, which
The
is
damage
faster
drop-off
fire
is
rate
crazy.
and the fast pull-out time. So you can be quick with it, you can make edit plays and shoot them, but you're hitting for 40s, 50s. It basically creates a lot of unnecessary editing and mechanical plays that you have to do in order to use this shotgun effectively, and you have to be right up in their face. Now, if the meta only had lever shotguns, for example, in Chapter 2, Season 5, when it was introduced, which
I
was
hated
the
that
one we
season.
mentioned earlier, which
Well, I
was
didn't
the
hate that
which
season, I
had
just
no
didn't like the-
pumps, if I could be
yeah,
right.
whatever it
Either
was.
way, I think the meta
The,
that had
the
charge,
guns.
lever, and the fire shotgun we just talked
The
about, which
beast
I've
control.
forgotten already. So without pumps,
That guy's an
the lever
expensive
action kind of fit into the meta. But it returned in Chapter 3 or 4. I can't remember particular which
Is this the
season.
Gwen skin?
It was awful. This thing was truly horrific in the season it returned. And anytime you found it on the floor, it was just a waste of time. Get this out of here.
I wouldn't put it F tier. I would put it at like a B or C tier.
Yeah, see.
F tier shotgun. I feel like everything in my list here is just going S or F. Makeshift. Now this is an interesting shotgun. There was actually a few people who had decided in the season that was in, which is Chapter 2 Season 6, to just run this by itself. It was fast,
He
it had a
should
good
not
reload
live
time,
that.
it actually dealt good damage if you hit a good headshot because that's such a small
also shouldn't have
reticule.
lived that.
Now, obviously the gimmick in this season was that you could upgrade it. I like the idea of growing up rarities, but to be honest, a lot of the times back then you just end up with something super broken. This shotgun was pretty good at the time, but we're just going to put it into C tier. Very well balanced, but I definitely
So I'm
would
gonna
want
put
to
it
see
in
this return again.
D tier.
Speaking of chapter 2 season
I hate this gun, but it was so broken.
Dog,
This thing
Mythic
gave me
version was so-
nightmares. This thing gave me nightmares.
6, the primal shotgun.
I remember it'd be end game, and someone would just hop into my box and I get deleted in seconds.
This has got to go down as maybe the most broken shotgun added. Now, at this time, I was still playing controller, and I probably put this in like 10 different videos. But at that moment, you could just run into anyone's box, and the way it worked was it was an auto shotgun, but it shot 2 shots, like doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
Did you see how broken that was? That guy was 100% winning that fight if he did not have that shotgun.
Making some dance tune here or something like that. But each of those single shots would do like 50, so you could just do 200 damage like that, no problem at all. It was an absolute monster, and I think that's probably some of the best, I was going to say probably some of the highest frags I've ever gotten in tournaments, was just running this thing, because it was insanely busted on controller. Put that into F tier. Alright, the alt.
Gotta agree with that.
F tier, D tier, because Mythic version was so broken.
Now, if I was a bad player, I would 100% put this in S tier.
Shotgun. Now,
But
shotgun in
since
my
I'm
eyes
actually
is
good, I'm
basically,
gonna put
it's
that
not
in
in my
F.
eyes, it's just a buff tactical shotgun. It has the exact same fire rate, which is 1.5, but it has a little bit higher damage. But for some reason at the time, it still felt very weak when it was in the meta. And that was essentially just because the pull-out time was
I did
so
not like
slow.
this gun.
Now, in my eyes, this was
Hated
much
this gun.
more
I
damaged
never
in
picked it
terms
up.
of
I
structure
think I used
damage,
it till
so you couldn't do that same
one time.
strategy where you just stand on someone's wall and just shoot, reload, shoot, reload. It was a bit more of a balanced version, but
I
the
don't
slower
really-
pull-out time is always something I really despise in these guns. So I'm going to put this into B tier.
I enjoyed the gun, kinda. It was actually not bad. So
I'm gonna put that
it
in D tier.
D tier, nah, I'm putting it in some B tier.
That's crazy.
Pump shotgun.
I love this gun. I love the striker so much. I'm putting this in A tier already. I love this gun.
This is when Epic just decided to start replacing the pump with guns that are also called pump, but make them slightly different. For I don't know why reasons. Now, the thing I really don't like about the striker pump is actually the fire rate. Now, on release, it was 0.6. Now, this means absolutely nothing to you, but for reference, the shotgun and the normal pump shotgun, I mean, is 0.7. So the higher, the faster. So essentially, the striker pump shoots a little bit slower than the pump shotgun. Now, they buffed this to 0.65 rather than 0.7, but it was still slightly slower than the pump. And the problem with this is that this
I
creates
missed
a
this
really
one, man.
awkward muscle
Mythics, I
memory
have like,
where you
watch, he's gonna
think
beat
you
this
were
guy.
able to shoot it,
No, he's
but
not.
you would try to shoot and you
There
would
he is.
fail. Now, you could say that's a skill issue, and that's probably because it is an absolute skill issue, but it was just annoying and something that I didn't quite like about this weapon. But it did a high amount of body shot damage. So 126 body shot is really, really strong with a gold. So what this meant was it kind of flipped, where you were dealing really small
Yeah, it
amounts
was
of damage
broken
in Chapter 3, Season
sometimes.
1, the season before, and now when you took this, every single shot you were shooting with this is like 100, maybe 100.
That's crazy.
110 obviously depends on the variant you have, but it's really hard to hit a minimum damage shot. You either hit a big shot or completely nothing with it.
That's why I
Outside of
love
that,
this gun.
It has good range. I think it was nicely balanced, but body shot damage was maybe a little bit too high. So for me, I'm going to put this into B tier because
A tier.
it does get
Where are you putting it?
What shotgun was it? In fault.
This one.
The
No, the striker.
Oh yeah, it was B tier. B tier.
I'm putting
Why
it
is
in A
my
tier.
damage?
a little bit frustrating, just continually getting chunked
You
over
give
and
me
over
a
and
second,
over again.
bro.
In Chapter 3, Season 3, no.
I
My
hate
entire
the
top
Ranger.
three.
F tier. Only would ever pick it up in zero build.
Chapter 3, Season 2,
F tier,
also saw the
yeah.
addition of the Ranger shotgun.
That's my
This was just
dodge.
kind of, in my eyes, a little bit gimmicky. Now, the Ranger shotgun has a single shot in the clip, similar to like the fire shotgun. I keep forgetting the name of that we talked about earlier, where every time you shoot it, you're going to have to reload after it. And the point of this was yet again another long-range
Oh my
shotgun
goodness, bro,
rather
he-
than a close in-range box. But another issue with these, which I have not yet mentioned, is the fact that shotgun delay exists. So you can't really use this as an in-box shot. If you miss, it's just over, and then you're going to have to try and spray someone for 200 to go. So it's very, very risky to take. The ability to hit people at range is great. That's not the goal of most players when they carry a shotgun. It's for wall-to-wall inbox action. So I would put this down into F tier. However, for zero build players, I imagine the Ranger shotgun might be quite good as a swap weapon. So I'm going to put this up to D tier, which is still
F tier in builds, C tier in zero build.
pretty bad.
Okay.
Do you
I'm
agree?
putting F in both.
Alright.
No, I do not agree. I'm putting F in both. I do not like it.
Two-shot shotgun
A tier.
F tier.
is
Dang.
good, but also at the same time incredibly frustrating to use. Now, this works like a burst, so I don't know why Epic seem to love burst weapons in this chapter, and they seem to be trying to implement burst weapons a lot, but a burst shotgun is just kind of strange. Now, similar to the Prime, it shoots 2 shots, one directly after each other, and it has a max magazine size of 8. So essentially you get 4 bursts before you need to reload. So for each individual shot, it didn't actually do that much damage. So a lot of the times what you find players do is try to shoot this at people, but they would just kind of either maybe hit one bullet and then miss the second, or they would just try and like put up an edit or try and build in front of it. And it was very, very frequent where you'd only hit a single one of the shots. However, I will mention at the time, this was incredibly strong if used correctly in close proximity. You could really deal some incredible damage with it. But again, it's a little bit clunky. So for me, I think I'm going to put the 2-shot into B tier. Also in chapter 4, this was another variation of the pump that was just kind of gimmicky, which was the Prime shotgun. Now, there's a lot of people I've seen on Twitter over the years ask the Prime shotgun to return, and it was interesting because I'm not a particular fan of gimmicky weapons for the most part. Now, if you don't remember, the Prime shotgun dealt significantly more damage with the first shot in the clip rather than the other 3 shots. So it had 4 shots total in the magazine. So this meant that you were really rewarded for shooting a shot, reloading, shooting another shot at the player in that way. And if you got into a box and you'd used a single bullet and then you had to switch back to the shotgun, it meant that those subsequent shots were going to do significantly less damage. Now to me, a lot of people felt this was really well balanced because the actual damage parameters that it was doing were really good. However, as I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of continually having to reload shotguns over and over and over again, and I felt like it was just a bit of an unnecessary mechanic to have in the game. Despite that, a lot of people feel it's very balanced, and I do as well, so I'm going to put it into the A tier.
I'm changing my rating to C.
You're C. Going to C for this one.
I didn't realize I had my mic muted. So I'm gonna say what I said a second ago. I hate this gun so much. So, because it just didn't hit consistent enough, so I'm gonna put it in C tier.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What a weird shotgun. Now I really appreciate
I can't agree. I have to put that in B.
do with
The chrome shotgun. That shotgun was absolutely
Okay. I actually used a shotgun in this season, and I kind of enjoyed it.
I think it was. I do think that like the chrome weapons was a cool where how you can evolve it. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't like the guns.
However,
the AR wasn't bad. I liked the AR.
Never did any damage. And there was the upgrading effect of it too, which meant that as you shoot more players, it up damages and increases more and more over time.
Yeah, he was in his face. He did 45, and he does 43 here from okay range. 57, 60.
Eventually, what would end up happening here is
not
that players just continually
great
shoot
damage,
at
but not
NPCs,
horrible. He has a good load. I like his AR.
I like.
So they didn't actually become.
I like
there.
because the way it
The gimmick was
shot.
just kind of silly.
That
upgrade
reticle is the
based on
way.
the amount
Just
of
because I
damage
liked
you've
it.
dealt with it. Again, the Prime shotgun was in this season, and it really overshadowed this. So
not
for
for me.
Evil Chrome shotgun, I'm just putting that straight into F tier. It was very powerful, but I
D
just
tier.
don't like it, and I don't think it works well in Fortnite. Let's be real. Get out of there. Next up, we have the
Yes, S tier immediately.
Thunder Pump Shotgun. Is it called?
This is what I'm talking
Thunder
about, the
Pump or
Thunder Pump.
Shotgun. I swear it was called.
Oh,
Thunder
this is what
Pump,
you were
but
talking
it's here
about.
just called Thunder Shotgun. This is basically one of those other replications of the pump
I'm
where they
stupid.
really could have just in this season not added the shotgun altogether and just instead put the main pump shotgun in. But the main difference here really was the fact that similar to some of the other shotguns, it had 4 shots in the shell. Technically, it actually had 8, but it used 2 shotgun shells every time you shot.
Some interesting
this
editing.
was really frustrating on release because on release it only had 6, aka 3 shots. So you had to continually reload the thunder.
Yeah,
shotgun, and it is
the
not a
old
fast
version of this thing
reloading shotgun
actually
either.
sucked. The
So
new
by
version of it
increasing that up to
broken.
4 shotgun shots total.
Well, it's not broken. It's
in
very
one magazine,
balanced.
it's
I
got
really like
significantly
it.
Better. However, again, it's basically just exactly the same as a pump, a little bit faster firing,
I honestly
but with more
would
frustrating still
rather
having to
take
reload it
this
over and
over
over
an
again.
actual
So I'm gonna
pump.
put it into A tier. In that same season, we all
I don't think there was pumps that
all-
season, but if I have like a blue pump and a gold version of that, I'm taking the gold version.
So had the Maven auto shotgun. Now this is again
It'll be
similar to the
that.
Thunder Pump.
I hate
A
this gun.
replication of the tactical shotgun, but slightly different. And
Um,
I still don't know why Epic
I
decided
would
just to
put this
continue to put
in-
these random new guns in that were just exactly the same as the
C
Chapter
tier.
1 weapons,
Yeah, C
but
tier.
named them something different. Anyway, that's for another time. The difference here was that the Maven shotgun actually dealt a considerable amount more damage, in particular to headshots. So the blue, for example, did 85 body in comparison to the 80 of the tactical, and 148 headshot max in comparison to 120 of the tac. It does have a slightly slower fire rate, but it's not necessarily noticeable. So to me, out of
I think I
all
only
the
picked this
auto
up in
shotguns
zero
that we've
build.
covered so far, this is definitely the
When I
most
played that
balanced
season.
in my eyes.
I
and
really
I'm going to
like,
put this straight
chapter
into the
4,
S
chapter 4,
tier.
top
Now, of
10
course, there was
season.
also the
Top 5 season.
exotic version of this, which was the heisted accelerant shotgun. But this essentially,
I
as
don't know
you
what this
hit
gun does.
targets, the fire rate increased. So if you
Faster
were just
movement,
spamming at
which
players
is
in
honestly
endgame, or if you're
why
playing
I
zero
would
build,
pick it up.
This gun
I would only
was
pick up
so
this. Well, I
frustrating
wouldn't
to
only
fight
pick up
against.
this version. I
Hopefully
would pick
gun
up this
never comes
version though.
back.
It is
Next
good.
season in Chapter 4 Season
S tier, S tier, S tier. Love this
2, we
gun.
did have the Havoc pump
S
shotgun.
tier.
Now the Havoc
I
pump
love this
was
gun,
one of
especially the
my
mythic version.
Least favorite pump shotgun.
That's
I have to say out
crazy
here.
that he
This
calls
was
this
kind
an
of similar to the striker pump in a way
like
that
an
it
F
was
tier.
really easy to hit massive damage shots with it. So if the blue, for example, a max damage body shot is around 120 damage. And this season, if you played it, you were basically continually getting chunked for massive body shot damage if they don't even hit your head. And of course, if they hit your head, there's even more damage than that as well. It felt a little bit too easy to hit this big damage shot. And it's interesting because despite here, the equip animation is 1 second, the same as the pump shotgun. But I swear this gun feels incredibly slow when you pull it
I need to
out.
watch some of these
Maybe
guys.
it's
These
just
are
because I'm
good.
used to faster pulling out shotguns, which we'll come to later. The Havoc pump feels so horrific to use,
God
and it's
dang.
so easy to hit max big damage shots. So
I don't know
that-
why he's
that
talking
for
crap
me,
on
I
this
didn't
gun when
think
he's
it was
like
particularly balanced.
talking,
Now,
like,
all of these
good.
shotguns were
Like,
capped
he's saying
at
good
under
things about the
200
shotgun,
damage,
but he's
what they
calling
could do to headshots.
actually
There was a
garbage.
mythic version which was capped at 210 damage, so you can actually do one pumps with the mythic version, which is really fun and still.
They
some
should bring
cool
back
maps have
one
it in,
pumps.
But again,
I
too
keep
much
scratching my
body shot
throat and I
damage,
forget that
it
the
feels a little
microphone
bit
can hear
clunky,
that.
But I'm going to put it in A tier because it's still a pretty good shotgun.
S tier.
We're coming on to what I will consider
Yeah, I ain't even notice it.
the laziest item in Fortnite history, the sharp tooth shotgun. Now the sharp tooth shotgun, you know, you may be looking at that item and you go, well, is that not just a pump shotgun? You would think it would be a pump shotgun. Was this a social experiment?
I hate loading into creative games and then they have this gun. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the pump. And I grab it, it's a sharp tooth.
Like, bro.
Like, on God, if you're gonna like bait me with that, just put the pump in. Like, on God.
I'm kind of looking at it right
Looking back
now.
at it, like, this must have been a social experiment. 'Cause
I was
this is
like
a
looking
pump
at them and
shotgun.
seeing,
Why
are
have they
there a
just named
difference?
this the sharp tooth shotgun and given it completely different mechanics? Is this like a nostalgia game? They're mind games. This was essentially another version of the long range shotgun, so it doesn't do as much max damage as the max of the gold ended up being around 165.
50
However, it's
years.
significantly
Oh my
longer.
goodness. Oh my
range.
goodness.
That was really good for end games, as you could do a lot of
could
damage at that
actually
kind of
do
mid range.
something
This was in the same season as
long
the sharp
range
tooth
with
shotgun
it.
that we just talked about, but we didn't really see that many players use it. Plus, this is lazy as hell. Get out here, Epic. This is going down into the C tier. In Chapter 4, Season 4, they added the Infiltrator pump shotgun. Now, I do not respect this shotgun, as many
B tier.
minimums have been hit with this. Now, the goal of this shotgun was to be somewhere between a pump
B tier
and a
seems pretty fair
tactical
for it.
shotgun. So somewhere between that gun that hits max damage and between
Why
the
does clicks
automatic
look so
shotgun that
goofy?
deals lots of damage repeatedly.
Look at
But
him.
Instead, it sat in the middle and did neither of
Bro.
those well. It was a jack of all trades, but it was just horrible.
I really
at
like
all
this
of
season.
those things. The fact that it's named a pump shotgun is insulting.
It actually
to the
wasn't
other
bad.
15 pump shotguns that have been in Fortnite. This is added in Chapter 4 Season 4 and then just removed in OG. No changes.
Look at the
Never
recoil
seemed
on
to
that.
see the
Oh
light
my
of day
goodness.
again. I'm kind of happy it hasn't. It can stay in the vault for now because
Please
this
do.
is a certifiable F tier shotgun.
D
This season,
tier.
We also had the wood stake
D tier or
shotgun.
C tier?
Now, this is basically just a reskinned version of the
F tier,
heavy
F
shotgun
tier,
we saw
F tier,
earlier,
F
which
tier.
shoots a single
It's
pellet.
worse.
No, this is rubbish. Get into F tier. But at the turn of the tide, Chapter 5, we saw a new light. Epic Games decided to do something totally different, something revolutionary. They decided to make another pump shotgun and call it the pump shotgun. Now, a lot of people, interestingly, dislike this shotgun, but it's interesting because it's pretty much
I
exactly
think
the same
it is
stats as the pump
a
shotgun, but
very
with
good
slightly
gun.
different damages. Now, the blue, for example, hits a max 94 damage. In
Love this gun.
comparison
I
to
don't-
110
I
with
think
a
it's
pump
still in the
shotgun,
game,
both the bodies,
right?
That is. But the headshots
It's
are
in the game
relatively
still,
the same.
yeah.
So it's interesting that
I
a
don't
lot of people
remember. It's
don't
hard to-
like the
I
hammer
don't know.
pump. because it is actually probably a more balanced version of the pump shotgun. It also has a smaller crosshair.
I don't know why I can't remember if it's in the game or not, because I literally play the game every day.
Shotgun, but it's not too small where you'll find yourself continually hitting maxes.
Why does the gun look so big? Why does the SMG look so like huge?
Shotgun is probably the most skillful pump shotgun in the game. But,
there's
there's something about me that just still loves a pump.
Oh,
yeah,
it's Peter Griffin.
Yeah, Peter Griffin.
Because the general consensus of it is not really that good across the entire community. However, I think it's probably the most.
Might have to go up there
with
S tier.
I want to be hitting 200, so let's be real. Get that shit over here. Chapter 5 also introduced the Frenzy auto shotgun. This had a significant.
When this thing first came out, it was so broken.
Oh my, I would die.
It's still so broken. I hated playing with this gun. And then there was a mythic version that could 2-tap someone. Not even with headshots. It could just be a body shot. You could be playing ranked or something. And so you'd be in the bunkers. And they would like come in and you just get destroyed. I'm putting this in F tier. Yeah, you'd be just chilling and you'd get deleted.
Honestly, since I used it a lot too, I would have to put it as C tier, and then the mythic one has to go straight S tier because I kind of like this gun.
It was good for zero build. A tier B tier for zero build, F tier for builds.
Significantly higher.
Unless you're bad.
I think actually the highest of any shotgun ever added to the game. However, it was still not my favorite version of an automatic shotgun at all, and I still prefer the tactical or the Maven, really, any other shotgun over this. So I'm going to put this down as a D tier because I just think it's a very unskillful weapon. I know a lot of controller players will be very unhappy about this because they'll.
Bro, why are you knocking the controller players, man?
Loved their shotgun throughout the first couple seasons of this chapter. On to chapter 5, season 2, Gatekeeper shotgun.
A tier.
Now, this is going to be
the version of it where it's like speed mag or like no mag, it's like C tier, but with the drum mag, A tier max.
Controversial one, but the Gatekeeper shotgun is probably one of the most unbalanced guns that Fortnite has ever seen. But in close quarters, this is the easiest shotgun ever to get elims with. If you're in a box and you have 3 shots reloaded into it, it's incredibly difficult to not 3-tack someone. And of course, it's strong enough where if you hit 2 good shots, you can just 2-tack someone or 2-shot someone with it and instantly wipe them out of the game. Now, it only has 3 bullets within the magazine, which does nerf it significantly. However, it kind of just creates stupid gameplay where it's way too easy to deal a lot of damage. So despite this being one of the best shotguns Fortnite's ever added for damage, I'm going to put this down to the C tier because I believe this is incredibly unbalanced. But it's allowed me to get some kills this season at least. Not many though. Now, our S tier shotguns create the perfect meta in my opinion.
Alright, there's no more shotguns. So I think I'm going to end the video here. So, yeah. Go watch some of my other videos.
Your standard.
I'll see you guys next time I record.